overriding concern of the horoscope is the actualization of the sun sign. Your Venus speaks to a particular part of that quest. Her placement spells out your attractions, your value system, your sensibilities, and your decorum, what and who you decorate your life with. She's the first planet that deals specifically with your romantic love nature, because what you love and what you value is shown in your choice of a romantic partner more than just about anything else. What is Venus in Taurus attracted to? What does she value? To answer this question, we have to go back to the beast associated with Taurus. The bull has always struck me as an interesting symbol for this sign because it's peaceful and slow. These traits are at the core of what Venus in Taurus holds dear. Venus also refers to your values across the board, from your self-value to your personal value system to your currency, or what desires you're motivated by. Venus is preoccupied with how much cost and reward is associated with everything. What is someone or something worth, and how much do I want to give for it is the question on Venus's mind. Venus in Taurus is easy to read. It appears traditional because tradition preserves what has always been deemed appropriate. Its slowness, that desire for peace, combines with tradition to achieve the thing most important to Taurus, and that is simplicity. Why does the simple have such an appeal to Venus in the sign of the bull? The answer to that is twofold. The first is that this is the least adaptable Venus in the zodiac. When faced with uncertainty, they can't think of 1,000 different ways to get out of trouble. They don't have 101 masks they can wear as novelty hits them in the face. No, when novel stressors arise, this is the most likely placement to adhere to what they have always known. And when this is the case, that Venus doesn't want new and daring experiences. This Venus doesn't crave stimulation and doesn't need much freedom. Likewise, Venus and Earth is a builder, a producer, and they need energy to accomplish that. The fewer choices you give yourself, the fewer times you have to veer off what you've always known, the more energy you have to build. Habit brings the peace and centering Taurus desires, and their sensibilities surround this idea. Why waste money and time and energy on a modern fad when a string of pearls and a black jacket with classic tan pins will always work? Why be burdened with a complicated menu in the morning when reliable eggs and an old-fashioned bran muffin has always comforted them at the start of the day? They take the same walk after that sound breakfast, and they do this in the same order to get out of the house. They don't like to rush because they mean to be centered by these rituals. Physical comfort is key to Venus in the sign of the bull. This placement is said to like the finer things, and yes, that's true. They tend to have good taste, but why they're drawn to such things differs from Virgo, who does it out of their powers of discrimination, or Capricorn, who feels good about status. Taurus is after certainty. You can buy a $10 shirt that unravels quickly, or you can buy a $90 Ralph Lauren that can be worn twice a week for 15 years before you see the first hole in the cotton. And they'll pay up front for something that will be permanent. Permanence means the objects won't leave you. They'll stay year in and year out. This is how Taurus sees it. Naturally, the feminine ideal here is practical and above all, reliable. They are there for you, not in a dramatic, showy, and provocative way that matters to the fire Venuses. Taurus is the type to take care of your bodily comforts first. Now, what you get with this penchant for the simple and the wholesome is a lack of contribution when you talk about subtle, complex emotional webs in which you may find yourself. That doesn't compute. And they're likely to interpret such things as a simple deficiency of sleep or vitamins. Go to a different Venus with all that, because this one has different concerns and it doesn't like complexity. Further, this placement tends to be good with money because it's real and it gives the comforts Taurus craves. Enough money and a willingness to spend it can make many conflicts and disruptions vanish. Money can make urgent situations unfold more slowly. It can spread the peace. Venus in Taurus enjoys being in body, and money makes that a fuller, more sensual experience. There's commonly a love of beauty here, an aesthetic sense, a nice voice. A singer you often find. You see the charms of Venus expressing herself in physical form. Another one of their sensibilities is a fondness for proof. In love, words as well as intentions are cheap and ephemeral. What you do, how you show up, is what matters. And long-distance relationships are frustrating to them. If you love them, you'll be there. The presence of both people is the first building block of peace, they believe. They want you at the table with a pen and paper, sitting next to them when a problem arises, and resources must be gathered to resolve it. Venus here wants a mate who is steady and focused and has integrity, which is often at the expense of excitement. Integrity is sexier than flair and glamour, according to Venus in the second sign, because they ask for the basics. Bring in a steady paycheck and make a warm home. Care about crafting something solid. This placement likes the physicality of sex, the affection that makes the brain produce a lot of positive chemicals. Fidelity usually comes to this placement not from high ideals about restraint, as much as about a desire to live an uncomplicated existence. And it goes back to that fondness for ritual. Revisiting the same thing is a lot more steadying for them than bed hopping or sneaking around trying to keep the name straight. And so monogamy usually overrides the pull they feel toward the pleasures of the flesh. If you do see them involved in something a little bit messier, rest assured that they're able to perceive the situation as simple, whether or not that's actually true. Remember, the strengths of any placement will point to the kinds of weaknesses you'll find in it. Since this Venus is pleasure-loving, a negative can be decadence, even hedonism. Another factor you'll see here is suspicion. Everyone wants something, so better be careful about what you're giving and to whom. Their love of beauty may turn to vanity, and certainty may become an inability to take any risks. Finally, inner dissatisfaction may come out as materialism and overconsumption. In all, however, our goddess loves to be in Taurus. She has a natural affinity for the bull. Despite some of the pitfalls, this placement is an unpretentious flower child at heart. Thank you for watching Secrets from an Astrologer's Desk, Venus in Taurus. I'm Joy. More videos to come.